Hey, what's up there, party people? This is Professor Lorenzo McCoy once again coming at you. This video is for day number 1 of the year, January the 1st, even though this is the 2nd, so I'm going to do a video for today also. But this is for the first day of the year, January the 1st. And like I told you, I went and got one of those calendars that you peel off the page every single day, but it has little quotes on it. And I'm going to use these quotes to help propel me and myself and many others, just so that I can make sure that I make a video every single day. One, at least something positive. I know I do a lot of news you can use sometimes. Sometimes there's a lot of blood and gore in the news, and I really don't like leading with that. So today's quote is, "You are never too old to set another goal or to dream a new dream." That's from C.S. Lewis. And this particular picture, of course, I went online, went to Google Images, and it's from quotesvalues.com. And I like this one because you can see the very old hands there, and someone is playing the piano, which lets us know that they took it upon themselves. Now, of course, this person might have been playing piano all their life, but it's to remind you, anybody out there that thinks that, well, it's too late for me to do this, it's too late for me to do that, that's bull crap. You know what I'm saying? I will be 45 years young this January 26th. I still hoop, I still do martial arts, I still like to jump, I still like to dunk on people, and even though I have an injury, a lot of people say, oh, you gotta watch, you're getting old. Well, you gotta watch yourself at no matter what age. You can get yourself into a bad accident and not work at 10 years old. Not be able to work again or walk again. It really has nothing. Age really doesn't mean that much to me. Now, of course, I need to watch myself. And I get what people are saying. They mean well. They don't want you to injure yourself where you can't work and all that type of stuff. But you know what, guys? I'm not here to just work at a regular job. I'm here to live my life's passion and live my life's dream. And if I'm going to be 100 years old climbing the mountain, dag nabbit, that's what I'm going to do. Sometime this summer, I wanted to do it last summer, but I don't mind jumping out of planes and all that type of stuff. There's a lot of stuff I said I would love to do. And I found a group of black guys that are skydivers. I want to get up with those guys and jump out that plane. I used to work with some tree guys back in the day in St. Louis, and a lot of brothers, I don't like name dropping all that type of stuff, but the brother we know is Chingy. His uncle is a very good guy that employed me in his tree cutting business, and them guys jump out of planes. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, man, I would love to do that. I'm that type of guy. You see a lot of these comedians, oh, black folks don't do that type of stuff. You a lie? You are a lie. We invented a lot of this stuff. There's a lot of stuff I would love to do, and it doesn't matter how old you are. And believe you me, them guys are older than I am, and it's a whole lot more ripped. When you work with trees, climbing trees and stuff like that, and chopping trees down, it makes you naturally strong. And per my martial art that I came up with when I was younger, I dealt with trees because trees are extremely strong. And if you ever kicked one, you'll know how powerful they are. And if you ever felt a branch from one, you'll know how fluid and swift that branch can be. So I came up with a lot of techniques to be as strong as the trunk of a tree, but also have that whipping pattern that a lot of branches can have to smack somebody in the face and things like that. But yo, I'm just telling you, man, no matter what you want to do this year, stop telling yourself you're too damn old. That's a lie. You're lying to yourself, and you are the devil. Don't say the devil's making you think these things. That's you. You the devil. You know what I'm saying? You the one doing this. Because I'm here, Professor is telling you that you can do it. You will do it. Command yourself to do it. If you are still alive, I guarantee you, if you ever been around somebody that died and you were there at their bedside, listen to what they say. I've been seeing people like that all my life, working in hospitals and things like that, and just being nice, being cool with older people. Man, on their way out, every time I say something stupid like, oh, I'm getting too old, I passed this point in my life, oh, this relationship's so messed up, they look at me like, you damn fool. If I had just a little bit of your age, if they were 100 years old, they would tell me about if they were 70 again, what they would do. And we're not even there yet. I'm 45. And I hear people 30 talking about, man, if I can go back and be 25 again. You know how stupid you sound? You don't know how stupid you sound because you're too freaking young. If you're 70 years old, you don't know how stupid you sound to someone 115. But they're still here and they still trying to do it. They still trying to keep their own garden and all that type of stuff. Their children, oh, grandma, stop doing that. You let us do that. They're like, no, no, baby, I do this myself. I'm used to doing this myself. You got people 65 talking about they too damn old to do something. Man, shut up. So that's what this video is about. So I'm not gonna go on a rant. I should, but I'm gonna give you some more information. Anybody that knows me, I'm very deep into the study of the brain. So I'm going to go over some of the things that a lot of us have been coming into contact with over the last, 20 years, dealing with neuroplasticity. And I want this term to always be forever embedded in your mind. This is the reason why you can teach an old dog new tricks. Neuroplasticity redirects here, whatever, also known as brain plasticity or neuroplasticity, coming from the word plastic, is an umbrella term that describes lasting change to the brain throughout an individual's life course. The term gained prominence in the latter half of the 20th century when new research showed that many aspects of the brain can be altered or are plastic, even into adulthood. Now let me stop there for a second. People used to believe, oh, once you kill them brain cells, it cannot be remade again. Oops, they were wrong. This notion is in contrast with the previous scientific consensus, which is what they're about to say, that the brain develops during a critical period in early childhood and then remains relatively unchanged or static. So that's the difference. They used to think the brain was static, but it's more plastic. It's malleable. You can bend it. You can rewire it. Neuroplasticity can be observed at multiple scales, from microscopic changes in individual neurons, those are the brain cells, to larger scale changes such as cortical remapping in response to injury. Let me see if they're going to get into that, just in case they're not. You ever heard of people who might have lost a leg and things like that, or just a part of the brain, seems to die off, and they're like, okay, they're never going to be able to hear again, never going to be able to walk again. The brain, if you move it, get the proper nutrients, and then you stimulate it through massage. Sometimes they use electricity, just gentle electricity. But in order to stimulate the brain and say, you know what, I need to remap you so that you can reconnect to that body part, and it actually can happen. When your body is laying down that myelin, whenever you do something repetitively over and over and over again, you are remapping your brain. Behavior, environmental stimuli, thought, and emotions can also cause neuroplastic change throughout activity-dependent plasticity. See, that's when you're doing something over and over again, which has significant implications for healthy development, learning, memory, and recovery from brain damage, i.e. strokes and things like that, or if you just get hit in the head pretty hard. At the single cell level, synaptic plasticity. See, when we go to talk about those neurons, I'll do a video about what's the synapse, what's the neurons, the dendrites, and all of that, and how those things work when they fire and talk to each other. At the single cell level, synaptic plasticity refers to changes in the connections between neurons, whereas non-synaptic plasticity refers to changes in intrinsic excitability. Intrinsic excitability. Let me go down a little bit further. I'm not going to get too deep on the science part because I don't want to bore people, but I just want to show you that what I'm talking about, I don't want you just to hear. I'm tired of people just putting up memes and, okay, if you see something like this, oh yeah, that makes sense, oh yeah, and then you just move on with your life and you don't do crap different. You keep doing the same stuff because you really do believe you're too damn old. You see it, oh yeah, that is true, it's never too late. But when it's time to do it, I'm going to just keep doing what I'm doing because, I'm 25. All these arbitrary numbers. I'm 25. I'm 35. I'm 45. Well, I'm 85 now. It's too late for me. Shut up. One of the fundamental principles underlying neuroplasticity is based on the idea that individual synaptic connections are constantly being removed or recreated, largely dependent upon the activity of the neurons that bear them. The activity dependence of synaptic plasticity is captured in the aphorism, which is often used to summarize Hebbian theory. Neurons that fire together wire together. And I've heard this a lot. If you listen to a lot of different lectures on neuroplasticity, you're going to see that a lot. Neurons that fire together wire together. Meaning, when you keep doing certain actions, even if you've never done it before, when you start using those different body parts or that part of your memory, you keep firing those neurons together. They will eventually, like when I was talking about when the mind makes a certain map to that memory, to that certain function, so you can keep doing that thing over and over again. After a while, as it keeps laying down that myelin, which we can start to think about like building a city, building the framework of that city. Once it begins to do that, it will hardwire a certain pathway directly to that function. And all of the neurons that have to do with that particular function, lifting weights, working out, eating a certain way, just thinking a certain way, they begin to wire together to make it easier to do that action again in the future. Neurons that fire out of sync fail to link. That's very key. I'm going to do a video on that. If two nearby neurons, which these are brain cells now, often produce an impulse in close temporal proximity, their functional properties may converge. Conversely, neurons that are not regularly activated simultaneously may be less likely to functionally converge. Now, that may not be making sense to you, and I'm not going to go that deep into it. I just wanted to we're going to get into it a little bit later, like phantom limbs. This is what I was talking about, people that lost their legs and stuff like that. But the brain knew there was a leg there, and they still sort of feel like their leg is there. They feel like when they're telling themselves to move their toes, they don't even have a leg anymore. It feels like they're actually moving their toes. That's what this up here, phantom limbs, is all about. And we're going to get into this. This is my first time looking at this particular page. I already know a lot of this stuff, but it's always something else that I won't know. That's why we all have to study, and I'm going to keep doing videos about these guys. But I wanted to touch upon that. Neuroplasticity is the scientific part that coincides with this right here. This is the reason why you're never too old. Also, let me go to Tony Robbins. See, you may not believe me.
Today is about how to get what you really want out of your life on a consistent basis. In order to get what you really want, you got to know what it is, which for most people is a unique concept. Seriously, when I ask people, what do you really want? The answer I usually get is something like, well, I don't know, or something general like, well, I wish I had a better relationship. I wish I could start my own business. I wish I had more money. I wish I could be more successful. The challenge with all those responses is they're so general, and they're not what you really want anyway. People don't want relationships. People don't want money. They don't want businesses. They don't want to be thinner. What we all want are the things we think we're going to get from those changes in our lives. Everything that you really want in your life comes down to one thing. You want some kind of change in how you feel, or what I call a change of state, the state of mind or body you're in at that moment in time. We all want to change how we feel. Think about it. The only reason you want more money, you don't want little pieces of paper with pictures of deceased notables on it, do you? Of course not. You want money because of what you think it'll give you. You think it'll give you more freedom, more fun, or the ability to give to other people. You believe it's going to lead to some kind of pleasure if you want it.
Now, of course, you're going to see me talking a lot about Tony Robbins, Les Brown. There's a whole lot of people. Once again, I'm into changing your life because there are things I've done myself. These are people that when I heard them say certain things, it resonated with me. I was like, that's right. I believe that. That's what I've been telling people. I'm not stupid. These people are making billions of dollars. I must be on the right track. And then whenever I fall off, I have to go back to these guys who didn't fall off and say, you know what? I got to get back on that. Now, as you see, I always like to give credit. As you see, I go to Wikipedia because I like getting into the etymology. They go into the etymology of different terms and things like that. Like this one, we can go check it out later. But this was, of course, Wikipedia. And we clicked that off. We went there, and I showed you about this site that I got the picture from, values.com. And we're going to get into this one too. You can't teach an old dog new tricks. What does that mean? Said to mean that it's very difficult to teach someone new skills or change someone's habits or character. But look at that. Look at the definition. Now, this is from the dictionary of Cambridge.org. it is very difficult to teach someone new skills or to change someone's habits or character. But look at where it's coming from. You can't teach an old dog new tricks. See the fallacy in that? Because you can. It might be a little difficult for you to learn a new language right now, but I get tired of people because I teach people different languages. It's very easy, and I still keep picking up different languages. The more I get time, or I'm sorry, I make time, man, I can learn anything still. I wish I would have stayed with it and did the travels, but you know what? I'm still alive. I'm going to do it now. I want to travel with Renoka Rashidi and go document all of the ancient places that black people have been all over this planet, and it would be nice to learn the language. You know what I'm saying? So, that's what I'm into. Also, as you saw right here, check this out. How to reprogram your brain. I'm just going to play.
Hey, listen, when most people think of success or failure, they think of these big, giant things. But failure is not an overnight experience, and neither is success. Failure is the result of failure to make the calls, failure to follow through, failure to say, I love you, failure to give 100%. That creates ultimate failure in life, the feelings we want to avoid at almost all costs. And yet success is also one step at a time. It's successfully making the call. It's successfully getting yourself up and following through. It's successfully making sure you make that unique contact. It's successfully breaking through the limits that used to stop you. It's the culmination of all those little successes over a lifetime that eventually creates a life that we have total pride and joy in knowing is our own. And I'm here to tell you that anything you focus on a consistent basis, you put 100% of yourself into and you try and improve daily on, you will improve. You will get better. The problem is most of us in life do not control the power of our mental focus. In fact, most of us focus on things like, well, gosh, how come my life isn't working? How come this always happens to me? And if you focus on that enough, that's exactly what you'll experience in life. Whatever we focus on consistently, we tend to manifest in our lives. Don't you already believe that? My hallucination is you already do, or you wouldn't have picked up a tape program like this. The key is getting ourselves to live by these factors. You know, most people in life major in minor things. That is, they're focused on how to make a living instead of how to design their life. You may be wondering what drove me to want to really study success in this level of depth. In fact, a lot of people say to me, Tony, how did you become so successful? Well, I'm complimented by the statement, but my response usually is the same thing that drives all of us to succeed. One of two experiences, either inspiration or desperation. For me, it was more desperation. I grew up in an environment I did not like, and it started back as far as high school for me. I remember looking around and being dissatisfied. And by the way, if you're dissatisfied with some area of your life right now, instead of being frustrated, get excited. Because I got to tell you something, until you get dissatisfied, you won't do anything to really make your life at another level. Dissatisfaction is a gem. If you're totally satisfied, you're going to get comfortable, and then your life begins to deteriorate. But I found myself dissatisfied with my environment. I didn't like what I saw growing up. I saw my father working extremely hard as a salesman, 40 or 50 hours a week, and yet most of the time we were broke, and I didn't understand why. I remember what that did to him emotionally. And that drove enough pain inside of me that I thought to myself at that time, I don't want to ever have my family have to go through this, and I don't want to have to go through it myself ever again. I thought someday I'm going to master financial success so I can not only help myself, but the people around me. And that was a driving force for my success in that area. I remember going to high school, and I was not a real popular kid, but I really loved people, and I loved being around them, and I wanted everybody to like me. And a lot of people did, but I wasn't the most popular kid in school. But you know, I thought someday I'm going to meet the most popular kid in school, and I'm going to find out what makes him so popular. He's probably one of the nicest, most warm and genuine people you could ever meet. I remember the day I met this kid. He treated me like I was dirt. Like, how dare I enter his space? And I thought, how could somebody who's this rude be this successful and having people like him? And it made me want to study what makes people like other people. I remember looking around at people in relationships, people who've been married 5, 10, 15 years, who weren't just hanging out together. They still had that passion, that drive for each other. They really loved each other 100%. It's like they were newlyweds. I remember one day going to my mother and saying, how come this is my fourth father? I'm just curious. And she told me an explanation I didn't quite understand at the time. But I can tell you one thing, it motivated me to want to make relationships work. So out of all of these things, what happened for me in my mind is I said, look, I don't like the way my life is. I want to make it better. And so somewhere in my mind, I linked up that what I should do is study success. that if you want anything in life, you got to make it a study. If you want to be successful, you got to study it, not leave it to chance. If you want to be happy, you got to study happiness. If you want to be wealthy, you've got to study wealth. If you want to be healthy, you got to study health. You can't just hope that things will turn out okay. You can see what hoping does for most people. Most people don't have what they want, and they just keep hoping it'll change. The bottom line for me is I went out and started studying success like a madman. I believe that if you will immerse yourself and focus on anything, you're going to get good at it. And so I decided to get good at understanding how to make my life work. And I went out and read almost 700 books in the area of human development. Everything from your basic positive thinking to your more esoteric forms of change when I thought I was so sophisticated. The point is this. As I read all this material and I listened to tapes constantly, in my car, anytime I could, I tried to dump some good stuff into my mind. I went to seminar after seminar after seminar. Many of them were lousy, but my attitude was, hey, if I go to a seminar and all I get is one idea, it's worth my attending. Or if I go to a seminar and all it does is tell me what I already know, but I hear it another time, and now maybe by hearing it again, I actually now use it, what a concept, then maybe I can make my life work. And so I went for that strategy that repetition is the mother of skill. And I heard enough, and I read enough, and I watched enough, and I listened enough, and I poured so much good stuff in that you can guess eventually good stuff started coming back out. In fact, within a short period of time, I became totally successful. Now, we all have our own definition of success.
Now, you see that? He put in the work. He patterned and mirrored people that were successful at changing their lives. That's all I'm talking about. Now, also, you see this person's other live is the name of this YouTube channel, Tony Robbins, How to Reprogram Your Brain, Tony Robbins Mindset. Now, of course, a lot of these people don't have his permission, but it's so many people with so many videos out here. I'm sure he doesn't mind people sharing them, but he has his own channel too. You know, a couple of channels that I also will show. And like the other one I just showed you, please subscribe to every one that I'm showing you videos of, because, you know, they're helping me by, you know, presenting the information to you guys, you know, in a quick way where all I got to do is just jump down and type in a couple of things and show you guys. Also, this last one I'm going to show you is just a couple of people, since I'm about health and wealth, I wanted you to see this page here before I click on play on the first one. Just look at the pictures. Look at this guy at the top. It's not what they call a spring chicken. He's not 15 years old. Look at that belly. Look at the man boobs right there. But look at that. Check that out. Look at this guy. Look at that beard. He's not 21. He's not 31. He's probably not 41. Look at that. 60 years and above. Look at the body, though. Wouldn't you mind walking out, you know, taking off your shirt? 77 years. 60 years. Now, Arnold Schwarzenegger. And he let himself go for a while, too. I don't know if you knew about that. But he got back in there. Now, there's some enhancements that some of these guys do. You know, these actors, I think, at one point, but at one point he might have had chest implants, and I know at least he had some calf implants that I heard of. Now, of course, this is all hearsay because I don't know the guy. But, you know, but look at that. All of this is not going to be implants. It's just hard work. Now, they're talking about when they retire, but look, the body still is there. You don't want to look like that all the time, stay yoked up, but look at this. Look at that. Now, some of these guys, you know, are getting on steroids and stuff like that, can destroy them, but look, his body's still there. If you ever see Lou Ferrigno still looks like the Hulk. 50, 60, 7-year-old transformations. Look at that. I'm going to play the one at the top. Old bodybuilders. Now, look at that. Since we're talking about health, now, of course, you know, it takes a lot to keep this up when he was in his 20s. He was a young guy when he got on the scene. But look, still can walk down the beach. Look at this guy, 27, 61. Look at the arms, still there. It takes work. Now, I'm not saying that everybody wants to look exactly like that. But the thing is, you can't say you can not have a gut. You know, I have a gut because I'm old. I'm an old man working. Dude, the more lean you get, the healthier you will be. This is for men and women. you can keep that cancer away. You can keep that diabetes away. Now, once again, I'm not telling you to be a bodybuilder, but you can if you want to. You see what I'm saying? Look, 8-year-olds. Baby girl right here. This is when you get them in early. And I'm not really into women looking like guys, getting so far. But some women, they feel so good. There's a high you get from like running. There's a runner's high, and there's also a weightlifting high also. And people just go, a little overboard. But hey, I'd rather for somebody to do that than just to be overweight and sickly. So I can't point the finger and judge them negatively when they're doing something that's about health. Now, I press play on this one. I'm going to end off with this one. Just, let you guys know, because I want this imprint in your brain. It's still all about neuroplasticity. It's never too late. Ever. And hold on, let me show you people that weren't bodybuilders, because I'm thinking what they're showing. This guy used to be this guy, and it might be him now. We don't want to see that one, but let's go here. This is what we want to see. And then two, let's go see some That's what I want you guys to see. That's enough, guys. I see. I see you get the point, though, right? It's never too late. That's all I've been trying to say. That's what I wanted to emphasize. And I like to make the video, even if you clicked off a long time ago. And I thank you if you did watch the whole thing. I believe in over giving you information, because when I'm doing this research myself, I'm here for hours, hours and hours. But this, hey, be on the lookout. I'm going to be putting up a video every single day. Even if I might miss a day, I'm going to always, the next day, just double up. Just like today, I'm going to do the video number 2 for day number 2 also. Once again, guys, love you. Keep it real with yourself. And this is all about transformation this year. Start right now. Don't pick a date. Start right now where you are and start from there, and you will get your goals met. All right, peace.